Good morning, everyone. Today we will be discussing mainly about lung volumes and capacities. So this device, I hope you remember. Okay, the recording spirometer, which has two cylinders. You did this experiment also to measure vital capacity. Okay, the person will breathe from the bell of the cylinder and breathe into the cylinder, which is counterbalanced by weights, and the volumes and measurements are recorded on this spirometer. So if we take out this film after recording, this will look like this. This is nothing but spirogram. We call this as spirogram. So we will start from this point. The amount of air which a person inhales during quiet inspiration is known as tidal volume. So this is around 500 to 750 ml in a normal healthy adult, the amount of air. Or else we can also define it as the amount of air exhaled by an individual during normal expiration. So this is 500 ml tidal volume, either during inspiration or during expiration. TB. So it is around 500 ml. Now the amount of air, the maximum amount of air that can be inspired by a person above the tidal volume. Above the tidal volume is also known as inspiratory reserve volume. Similarly, the maximum amount of air expired by the person below tidal volume after finishing quiet inspiration, the maximum amount of air expired by the person is expiratory reserve volume. So this inspiratory reserve volume is around 2 to 3 liters, and the expiratory reserve volume is around 1 liter. No. So this is during quiet inspiration and quiet expiration. Only 500 ml of air is coming in and it is going out. Above this value, a person can breathe up to 2 to 3 liters. This is the maximum capacity. And below tidal volume, after quiet expiration with forceful expiration, a person can further exhale another 1.2 liter. Now, there is an amount of air left over in the lung that is known as residual volume. This can never be expired even with highest expiratory efforts. This amount of air is always present in your lungs. This is known as residual volume. So by using normal spirometric technique, you cannot measure residual volume. So these are the four lung volumes: tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume, and residual volume. By using spirometer, you can measure these things, but not the residual volume. Okay, we can measure this by normal, complex parameters, not your student's parameter. That also can be used with a little modification. Now, there are other things, mainly the capacity. The word capacity itself determines the maximum amount. Okay, it is the maximum capacity of the lungs. So lungs means all these volumes we are talking with both lungs together, including your entire respiratory system together. Okay, what is this inspiratory capacity? The maximum amount of air, that can be inspired after quiet expiration. The maximum amount of air, follow my arrow, the maximum amount of air that can be inspired after quiet expiration. So you can call inspiratory capacity as sum of inspiratory reserve volume and tidal volume. Then what is this vital capacity? If you remember in the practical, the maximum amount of air that is expired after maximum inspiration, the maximum amount of air expired after maximum inspiration, or else you can also say the maximum amount of air inspired after maximum expiration. So maximum expiration to maximum inspiration, or else vice versa, we call it as vital capacity, this which we measure in your practicals. Now you can see another thing, functional residual capacity. What is this functional residual capacity? The amount of air left over in the lung after quiet expiration. It is the amount of air. See, this is the amount of air left in the lungs after quiet expiration. So functional residual capacity you can also state as expiratory reserve volume plus residual volume. As you cannot measure residual volume normally with normal spirometry, you cannot also measure functional residual capacity. See, this is very, very important. Why? Because whatever we are talking about the pressures, we will start from this functional residual capacity. What is functional residual capacity? The amount of air in the lung, the amount of air in the lung after quiet expiration, the amount of air in the lung after quiet expiration. This is around 2 liters. Okay, this is around 2 liters, 2 to 2.5 liters. Then total lung capacity. It is the maximum amount of air that can be accommodated in the lungs. This is the maximum amount of air that can be accommodated in the lungs. That is around 6 liters. This is your both the lungs and the entire respiratory tract together. It is 6 liters. So how do you calculate total lung capacity? You can add all these volumes: inspiratory reserve volume, tidal volume, expiratory reserve volume, residual volume. Or else you can add inspiratory capacity and functional residual capacity. Or you can add vital capacity and residual volume. All these things will give you total lung capacity, that is around 6 liters. Out of this, by using spirometry, we cannot measure this residual volume. This air is always present in your lungs, always present in your lungs. So as we cannot measure with normal spirometry residual volume, we cannot measure functional residual capacity, and also we cannot measure the total lung capacity. But remaining other volumes, expiratory reserve volume, tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, inspiratory capacity and vital capacity, these can be measured by your recording spirometer. So what is the significance of this tidal volume? This is around 500 ml. Out of this 500 ml, starting from your nose to your terminal bronchiole, till nose till your terminal bronchiole, this 150 ml of air out of this 500 ml is useless. So we call this as conducting zone, if you remember the initial class. Okay, only 350 ml of the air that enters the respiratory bronchioles and your alveoli is useful for the respiration. Okay, so out of 500 ml, 150 ml will be from nose till your terminal bronchiole, and from respiratory bronchiole another 350 ml will be there. So that is important. And one more thing, functional residual capacity. This is very, very important because we are talking all the time from this point of view. What is the importance of this functional residual capacities? So this is the normal air left over in the lungs after normal expiration, amount of air left over in the lungs after normal expiration. That means this constantly provide gases even though when you are not breathing. Okay, let's say suddenly there is change in atmospheric gas composition, or else there is changes in partial pressure of gases. So there will not be any changes to your respiration because functional residual capacity, because of this air left over in the lungs is constantly providing the oxygen, maybe at lower levels, but this is the immediate protection for your changes in pressures and gases, or else anything is there, suddenly there is a block to your respiratory tract. So functional residual capacity immediately helps, but it will not be more, maybe hardly for a few seconds and minute, which is vital still. So but how to measure this residual volume? So there is a technique known as helium dilution method, where you will fill the spirometer with 10% helium oxygen mixture. So initially you did not connect it to the person, or as person is quiet, simply he kept the spirometer into his mouth and is waiting, and you close the valve here. So you know the amount of air in this, yes, amount of helium in this spirometer. So you can know the concentration, and you also know the volume of the spirometer apparatus. Let's say around 5 liters, something like that. You know the 10% helium concentration. Now, when you connect it to the person, and person breathes from the spirometer, he is breathing in and out of the spirometer. So what is happening here? No, finally, when you connect the spirometer, the volume is equilibrated. Okay, the entire spirometer volume and the volume which you want to calculate, you can see it is equilibrated because mass is constant. Person cannot use helium. We don't, utilize helium. So helium is only present in your respiratory tract. It is not even going to your blood. It is going till alveoli, and helium is present in the spirometer. So M1 is equal to M2. Mass is constant here. So we have that principle C1 V1 is equal to C2 V2. This we already used previously. C1 we know, V1 we know. So C2 is a final concentration. When you connect the person to spirometer, lung, and this is equilibrated. So concentration changes because there is addition of the volume of lung. So concentration changes, but this you can measure by gas analyzer. And the volume here, there is V1, the volume of the spirometer, plus the V2, unknown volume, which you want to calculate. So from this equation, if you say V2 will become, V2 is equal to V1 into C1 minus C2 divided by C2. Okay. So you know the concentrations, you know the volume of the spirometer. So you will know the unknown volume which you want to measure. So if you are measuring, okay, if the person is equilibrated and is inhaling from the end of forceful expiration, directly you can measure residual volume. If he breathes in from the end of tidal volume, you can directly measure functional residual capacity. V2 will be functional residual capacity. If you are measuring from maximal inspiration, you can directly measure total lung capacity. So this is ideal because after equilibration, gases are equal, and you are measuring the volume V2 from the, okay, maximum inspiration. Now you get total lung capacity. You get all other lung volumes by your spirometer. So this total lung capacity minus this will give you residual volume. Remember this functional residual capacity. Again, this is important for our next class. The amount of air left in the lungs after quiet expiration. This is almost like a zero time for our lung mechanics. Okay, thank you. Wait for the next video.